Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. Today a very cool unboxing video of the H&K P8A1. This is a limited production run item from H&K. It's the official German sidearm of the Bundeswehr for now. I'll talk about that in a second as well. And again, this one is one that you can't readily get at your local gun store, and your local gun store probably can't order from H&K unless they're a high-end H&K dealer, because again, these come in very limited production runs into the United States. Before the P8A1, a few P8s were imported by third parties, but right now H&K proper is importing the P8A1, but again, in very limited quantities. In the box, you'll get standard H&K fare, you get a sticker, you get an owner's manual, which details all the USP series, which is what this is a member of, and your lock. And that's really it. You get your silicone packet and two 15-round magazines. And the first thing you'll notice about the P8A1 is that it comes with translucent magazines versus the standard H&K's black mags. Looks like new to H&K to me. You have this little guard on here, so very neat feature. I like it better than the band that comes in many of these. But let me put the box aside and take a look at the firearm. Again, you get two of these. I'll put one of the magazines up. And here we have the H&K, if I get closer, P8A1. It looks a lot like a standard USB. It is a lot like a standard USB with a couple of key differences. Again, this is the gun that the German Armed Forces uses. They've been using since 1994. I titled this video as a for now video, which means that they just announced in late July 2025 that this gun is going to be replaced by a CZ-P13, I believe, a striker fired gun that will eliminate the need for a safety here. Again, more on that in just a second. But this has been the firearm of the German Bundeswehr since 1994, and that replaced the the P1, which was essentially a modified Walther P38, so a very old gun there. And again, it will play a role in the battery of arms on this gun in just a second too. So what do you have here? This is a 9mm USP with a 4.25-inch barrel. It's 7.7 inches long. It's about 1.3 inches wide, 1.26 to be exact, and it's 5.31 inches tall. And it weighs 27 ounces, 27.2 to be exact, and again, it holds 15 rounds. So again, this has been the sidearm since 1994. It's a double action, single action, chambered in 9mm only. And again, this is very much like a USP with several differences. The first you saw was the translucent magazines. The 9mm versions of the USP always have plastic mags. The American versions that say USP here have black plastic mags. These have the translucent ones, which I'm sure are very expensive if you have to buy more. I'm assuming they all fit as well. I don't have a standard H&K 9mm to compare it to. Another couple of differences. Well, one is the sights. The P8A1 has night sights compared to the P8 and the USP's more standard sights. And I'll flash a photo up here of me bringing this gun inside after being outside for just about 5 minutes and how well these things illuminate. So that's one difference in the USP and the P8. Original P8 was the painted sights on here. You can see there a little bit of a glow to them, a little bit of a yellow shade that glows very well. The P8A1 also has a reinforced finish on here. Apparently the finish on the original P8 wasn't as strong, so this has a better finish and better night sights. But the big thing that stands out to everybody is this safety battery of arms here that seems to be reversed versus the H&K. The standard H&K goes up for safe and down for fire, very much like a 1911, but you can see that this guy is reversed. On the standard H&K, safe and fire are back here, and they are, again, reversed from this. On this guy, you have a decocker that is here, and you pull down one notch for safe. You can see nothing happens there. You can pull down again here and decock it. Now you're in double action mode and it remains in safe. The reason they did this, which is different than the standard USP, is the fact that the battery of arms from the old P1, the Walther P38 version, had a safety that you had to flip up for safe and down, up for fire rather, and down for safe. And I'll flash a picture of the old gun here, and you can notice that the safety is on the slide instead of the rail. So it could be more natural that as you go to fire, you can push that up. This one doesn't seem as natural to me because you have to come in low and actuate it up like that. And then if I'm left-handed, so it doesn't really bother me at all. But if I'm a right-hander shooting, I can see myself resting my hand on that and going down to safe. My own humble opinion. I have not fired this gun yet, but that would be my thought as to, again, Americans are just used to that. The German military is used to the P-38 that had the same type setup on there. So that's the big difference, is the reverse safety and decocker. Decocker works the same, but it is interesting how this one stays on safe once you decock it, and then you have to flip up to fire. So very interesting difference. And again, this is being replaced, I believe, by a CZ P-13, which is a striker fired gun, very much like a CZ P-10. That is my understanding. I'm sure there'll be a lot more news about that later. One other big difference of the P8A1 versus the standard USP is the fact that this one has traditional lands and grooves rifling inside, as opposed to the polygonal, or as you say in Arkansas, polygonal. So that was a request of the German government. So when the rifling in the barrel is different, safeties are different, sights are different, as well as the markings here and the translucent mags. Those are the big differences, and this should still pass all the same torture tests that a standard H&K USP has passed. Numerous videos on the internet about that. I've made a couple as well. I think this is the most important gun in H&K's storied history, and this is a very cool version of that. Let me take it apart because there's also one more thing inside that is slightly different on this gun versus the old P8 as well. And I'll see if I can get a shot of the barrel, but I bet I can't. So to disassemble, here, actually slide to get the hammer back. Line this dot up right here, align this open space up with this, and then push through on this button right here. That pops out very easily, comes straight out. And this is straight from the factory. I haven't lubed it or done anything with it yet. And inside, there's a standard USP type frame. I don't think there's anything different here from a standard USP. And by the way, it is worth noting that this safety setup here is all driven by this insert here. There's multiple configurations of this for the USP series that makes it safety and decocker, safety decocker only. So this is the magic part in all of the USPs that you can change to change the battery of arms and also make it ambidextrous, or excuse me, valid for left-handers on some guns. But this one is slightly different than a standard USP. In a future video, I'll try to compare the two so you can see the differences there. But that's the magic of this different safety setup here. Now inside you have H&K's awesome patented recoil system that helps absorb lots of energy. I always think that is a fantastic looking setup. Excuse me. And then finally the barrel. And the barrel looks very much like a standard barrel. I believe these are actually manufactured or bought from France to be assembled at the Obendorf factory. And I can't get a good view inside here, but this has traditional lands and grooves versus polygonal. Goodness. The only other thing I want to note is I believe the P8s are actually also reinforced in this area right here because some of the high pressure rounds they use in Germany were cracking some of the frames, which seems amazing to me that this indestructible gun could have any type of issues ever with 9mm ammo. It was originally designed for 40 Smith & Wesson, so I would have thought it could handle any pressures. But those are some of the upgrades they made to the P8A1. Reinforced slide, a better finish on the slide. You have different different rifling inside of there, a different finish, and then you have the different decocker on here as well, and the different magazines. So those are the key differences of the H&K P8 versus the USP. A very cool gun that I'm trying to decide how much I want to shoot and how much I want to keep it as a collectible. Don't know yet. Haven't fired it. I've racked the slide maybe 20 times, maybe 15 times. You can see there's going to be a bit of wear there already, which is pretty common for my H&Ks. They're meant to be shot. So that is my look at this awesome firearm that is the current sidearm of the German Bundeswehr. Has been for the past 30 years. We'll see how long it lasts. We'll see how many of these stay or become collectibles. And thanks again for watching. This is a nice look at this guy here. Thanks again.